Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you are in the world. My name is Alexander, and today we are doing an OET mock speaking class. Once again, we'll have the opportunity to get together to do some practice and get some feedback and tips on key areas of the OET speaking exam. So a very warm welcome to all those who are watching live on Facebook and YouTube. Let me know if you are currently watching live. Let me know where you are watching from and also your name as well. It'll be great to see who is in today's class. As I said, my name is Alexander, and I've been working with delivering the OET exam now for a number of years. And I would love to pass on my experience to those who are planning on doing their exam soon, already booked their exam, or are just exploring the OET as a potential option going forward. So let's see who is in the class. I can see we've got Yuna is in the class. Hello, Yuna, watching on Facebook. A good morning to you from England. Whereabouts are you, Yuna? Which country are you based in? We've got Atalachi, who is watching from Saudi Arabia on YouTube. So hello to you, Atalachi. Great to see you in the class today. And we've also got Almon, who is watching from Japan. Welcome to you, Almon. Rima is watching from the UK. We've got Suni. Good morning to you, Suni. And Lena as well. Hello to you, Lena. Watching from Saudi Arabia. We've got Deborah watching from Nigeria. So a wonderful international mix. Fadi is watching from, where are you watching from, Fadi? Good morning to you. Who else have we got in the class with us today? Vera Ann is watching from the UK. Angela is here. Okay, Angela, so has just passed her OET exam on the second attempt. Okay, good for you, Angela. Vivienne, watching from England. Zad is also watching from England. So quite a number of people now are joining us, which is wonderful to see. Fadi, by the way, is watching from Saudi Arabia. Sunny is watching from the UK. Baba has joined us. Aswadi has joined us as well, as has Nina. Hello to all of you. Abdo is watching from Libya. Aswadi is watching from Kerala. We have Gentleness, who is watching from Nigeria, and Dee, who is in Zimbabwe. The exam is tomorrow, Dee. Best of luck with the exam. I hope that you are fully prepared and confident about going into that exam room. Okay, so a very warm welcome to all of those who are joining the class now. If you have questions about the OET speaking exam, then I shall endeavor to address those questions as we progress. There will be an opportunity for role play practice as well. And so following that role play practice, there will be opportunities to ask questions in addition to any questions you have as we're progressing throughout today's class. So let me just share the lesson aims with you today. So the lesson names are to learn and review the scoring criteria for OET speaking, to provide an opportunity for those watching the class, one nurse and one doctor, to take part in, and for everyone who is watching the class to listen to OET role plays and to listen to feedback on student performance, as well as giving your own feedback. So any other feedback that you have as you're watching, please share your feedback in the chat box. That could be very useful for the students. And then there will be a question and answer session as well. As I say, I will try to deal with questions as they occur throughout the class. But there will be, if there's a little bit of time at the end, we will look at specific questions and answers relating to the OET speaking test. So let me just make you aware of the offer that we are providing here at Swoosh English. We are offering 20% off OET courses. Do not miss out. There are 20% off selected courses. Just use the code OET Live 20 off. The first 15 people to apply will be valid, but only the first 15 people. And this will be valid until Sunday midnight UK time. So do not miss out. There are a number of courses which we are making this offer on. If you've got your exam coming up in less than a month, we have our intensive course. If you're new to OET and you've not yet booked your exam, then we would recommend our deluxe course. So do take advantage of this opportunity, and I'll share these details in the chat box as well. Okay. So I can see a few people joining the class saying that they have passed their exam, their OET exam. That is great to hear. And it's motivation, isn't it, for those who have their exam coming up. This is definitely possible. This is definitely something which can be achieved. So this is why you're here, right? So you can get over the line and achieve your ambitions. Let's find out a little bit more about these ambitions. What do you plan to do when, like these other students who have joined and informed us of their great news, their fantastic news, what do you plan to do when you also pass the OET? Or if you've just passed the OET, what are your plans now? Let me know in the chat box. What are your plans once you've passed the OET? So I'm sure a lot of you are looking to move abroad. A lot of you are looking to perhaps take on new roles within your profession. Let's see. So Zad is looking to prepare himself for PLAB. What is PLAB? Zad, I've not come across that before. Which country is that in? I'll be interested to find out about that. What other plans exist out there, guys? What are you looking to do? Ayanda, what does OET? So OET, Ayanda, is the Occupational English Test. It is for medical professionals who want to prove their English level, usually for those who wish to relocate to work in an English-speaking country. So here we are, some plans coming up here I can see. Vindya says hi to you, Vindya. Ramya says move to Ireland. Aswadi, fly to the UK. Yanji wants to work abroad. Nina wants to move to the UK. Mandeep, move to Ireland. Ireland is a popular country. Elvis wants to work in the UK. Chitra wants to apply for a job in the UK. Sada wants to start the overseas pharmacist course in the UK to be a qualified pharmacist. That's nice. Yuzra working in the UK. Sunny to register with the NMC. Lily planning to work in the UK. And Nina wants to move to Ireland. So yeah, lots of people. Reshmi moved to UK as well. Barbara says that passing the OET will give her the opportunity to relocate and practice nursing in the UK. So lots of plans there going forward. I can see a question already coming up relating to Q&A, and this has come up actually a few times when I've done these classes. Do we need to introduce ourselves in the role play? Okay, we will come on to that. Let's just pin that for a moment and we'll come back to it. So what is your biggest challenge with OET speaking? What do you struggle with most in the OET speaking exam? Is it vocabulary, fluency, pronunciation, grammar? What are the things that really cause you issues? Is it to do with the communication elements of the exam. Yeah, what are your biggest OET challenges? Okay, so we found out PLAB is a medical exam that you're expected to pass before you can register with the GMC. Okay, okay, there you go. So that's part of the process. Okay, so Azad says fluency is a big challenge. How is then grammar? Anita, time management. Lindsay, lack of vocabulary. Ayanda, fluency and intonation. Yeah, these are some key speaking skills, aren't they? Confidence, says Ikuya. Youssef, fluency, grammar as well. Sunni, confusion with salutation. Okay, we can have a look at that. Elvis, I tend to talk a lot. Okay. What else? Reluctant patient, says Abdo. Shreya, signposting, sequencing. Yep. Chesley, do we get penalized for using fillers while speaking? No. Not unless you overuse them. Okay. But we'll come back to that. Chitra, maintain effective communication with patients. And Laureen says vocabulary. So yeah, so a gamut of issues here. Mangala, stress and lack of vocabulary. And Ajmi says fluency. So these are all key elements of the speaking, aren't they? And they can all cause issues. We'll be looking at all these elements when we do the speaking role play practice today. And we'll be giving feedback on good examples and areas which could be improved. So we're going to have a look at the scoring criteria now. Just remind me, what are the two sets of scoring criteria in the OET speaking exam? Okay, so Ajmi says vocabulary. Vocabulary is part of one of the sets, but it's not an entire set by itself. Anybody familiar with the two sets of criteria? No? Okay, yes. So Aswadi is saying linguistic, absolutely. So linguistic is one set. What is the second set? D. Rai says clinical. Yeah, so linguistic and clinical communication. That's the key, isn't it? So those are the two sets of criteria. And we must be strong in both of these sets in order to score well in the exam. So we can see the linguistic criteria made up of 4 specific criteria: intelligibility, fluency, appropriateness of language, and resources of grammar and expression. We can see a little bit of a description of each one here. So intelligibility focuses on things like pronunciation, intonation, how clear your accent is. Note that you don't have to have a native-like accent. You just have to be able to, excuse me, sorry. It just has to be the case that your accent does not impact the clarity of your speech. Fluency is focusing on speed and smoothness. So not having lots of pauses. Or if you do pause, you're pausing in order to help the patient process the information, not because you're searching for words. Appropriateness of language, that comes down to using professional language, but using language that will not confuse the patient. So not using clinical language that will be uncommon to the layperson, using uncommon medical terms, for example. And then resources of grammar and expression relate to your accuracy and your variety of grammar and vocabulary choices. Then you have the clinical communication criteria. There are 5 of these: relationship building, understanding and incorporating the patient's perspective, providing structure, information gathering, and information giving. So each of these criteria has a slightly different focus. Relationship building relates to how you open the conversation and how you demonstrate empathy. when your patient is communicating with you. Understanding and incorporating is how well you engage the patient in the conversation and reassure the patient as well, if necessary. Providing structure is about using sequencing language, using pausing effectively, using signposting language to introduce new topics. Information gathering is asking a range of both open and closed questions to gather information about your patient, and also listening to the patient's responses and then asking appropriate follow-up questions. And information giving is about how clearly the information you give to the patient is delivered, and whether you are checking to see if the patient has understood the information that you have provided. So as a summary of the criteria, we can see here linguistic criteria. We've got 5 points, 5 key points. Did the speaker speak clearly? And was the speaker easy to understand? Did they vary their pronunciation and intonation relevantly? Did the speaker speak fluently and smoothly with few hesitations and full starts? Did the speaker use appropriate language and tone? And did they use relevant and correct vocabulary and grammatical structures? So if the speaker did all of these 5 points, then they're going to do well in the linguistic criteria. For the clinical communication criteria, you can see we've got 4 questions. Did the speaker speak in a way that offered empathy and support? Did they listen to the patient and respond effectively and appropriately? Was the delivery of information structured appropriately? And was the patient satisfied with your delivery of information? So that doesn't mean the patient has to be happy, because sometimes the patient will not be happy because you're giving them information that they don't want to hear. But was the information clear? Was the patient able to demonstrate a clear understanding of the information that you as the medical professional provided? So we're going to start with today's first role play. Let me just see, I can see we've got a question here from Jesley. Does the use of the word while presenting recommendation affect politeness? Should can be used in a polite way. It's not in and of itself a word which is inappropriate. It will depend on the context, Jesley. So if you were to say, for example, you should consider making a change to your dietary regime, that would be absolutely fine. There'd be no problem with that at all. I can see Edda has got a question. How to start with the question, find out. So you would ask the question, could you tell me, would it be possible for you to tell me, could you let me know? Those sorts of indirect questions. Indirect questions are very good for finding out information because they are polite and they also can be very effective. So I would use an indirect question. One question that I'm going to address right now as well is with the introduction. So in most cases, it will be appropriate for you to introduce yourself to the patient or the caregiver. And also, it will be appropriate in most cases to ask for the name. But, and this is from the official OET website, let's imagine you're in the exam room and you're starting the role play, the 3 minutes preparation time has passed, and you want to use a name to address your patient. You can invent it. You can invent the name. Just be consistent, just keep the same name. It really doesn't matter what name you use. There will not be a name on the roll card, so therefore you can invent the name of your patient. So you can call your patient John, you can call him Paul. If it's a female, you can call her Jane, you can call her Natasha, whatever name you want to use for your patient. So yeah, it is always a good idea to start with introductions in the role play. It depends a little bit, because if it's a follow-up visit, then you don't need to do an introduction, do you? If it's a follow-up visit from the patient or the caregiver, then you would say, hello, Natasha, how are you? And you wouldn't necessarily need to introduce yourself because the patient would already know who you are. But if it's the first time you're meeting the patient, then introductions are definitely seen as a positive feature of your speaking. And you can see that would relate to relationship building, using the name. Don't say Mr. Alex, for example, in my case, or Mr. Alexander, or Miss Natasha. either just use the first name, so just say, you know, Alex, how is it going, Alex? Or Alexander, how has everything been? How have you been feeling? Just use my first name, or you can say, in my case, Mr. Lindsay. So you can use Mr. plus the surname or the first name, but don't use Mr. plus first name. That is not a correct convention as to how we address people. Abdo is saying, is it okay without the name? It's better with a name, because if you were going to interact with a patient in the real world, it would be distancing if you didn't use a name. It wouldn't feel natural. So yeah, use a name, and you can just invent it. It doesn't matter what the name is. As long as you've got a name in there, then that is fine. Is it okay to ask the patient, are we together? That's a bit informal, I would say. That statement, are we together, or that question, I think, I'm not sure what you're asking that for or what you're saying that for. If you're saying, you know, whether the patient agrees with you, you could say, does that make sense? Is that clear? How do you feel about that? That would be appropriate there. Okay, Joycey is asking for some empathetic phrases. Well, let's do the role play, Joycey, and then we will get some examples from the practice, because when we're talking about empathetic phrases, it has to be relevant to the context of the role play. So I'm going to invite now some students into the class. We're doing the nurse role play. So if you are a nurse and you would like to practice today, then click on the link, which I'm going to share in the comment box now, and you will have the opportunity to join the class live. I can only do one speaking role play practice, unfortunately. I'd love to have everybody involved if the time were available. But if you would like to take part in this nurses role play speaking opportunity, then click on the link and you will be able to do that now. So I've just shared the link on YouTube and Facebook. So have a look at the chat box and you'll see it there. It's the StreamYard link. So if you are a nurse and you've got your exam coming up soon, some extra practice, some feedback, this would be a great opportunity to have a warm-up to your exam experience. So I can see that Anne has joined us live in the class, but Anne, your devices are not connected. You need to make sure that your camera and microphone are connected. So if you would like to do some speaking practice today, do make sure those devices are connected, and then I can bring you into the class. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to bring Marvis into the class. I can see, Marvis, you've got your devices connected, so let me bring you in. Hi there, Marvis.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
It's nice to be in the classroom.
Nice. It's nice to have you.
Yes, thank you.
Where are you at the moment? Which country are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Zimbabwe.
Ah, Zimbabwe. Nice.
In Gweru.
Say that again.
I'm in Gweru in Zimbabwe. Gweru.
Guerrero. Is that one of the big cities?
No, it's the third largest city in Zimbabwe.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And it sounds like it's, you know, and how are things there? It sounds like you're in a good mood, lots of energy.
Yeah, I got lots of energy. I'm from night duty, and I was about to sleep, and then decided just to join you.
Wonderful. I'm glad you did. Okay,
Thank you.
so Marvis, can you see the role play card on your screen?
Yeah, I'm seeing it, but the letters are just too small.
Okay, I can make it a bit bigger. Don't worry. if I do that, and then you should be able to maximize it on your screen.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing.
Perfect. Okay, Marvin, so you've got 3 minutes then to prepare for this role play, and then we will do the role play together. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. So for those that are watching, do go through the role play as well, and think about the language that you would use. And then once we've done the role play together, it'll be interesting to hear your feedback. Okay, Marvis, are you ready to begin?
Yes, Alex. Are
you
good. Let me start.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Good morning. Mavis. I'm one of the registered nurses who works at City Hospital. May I please confirm, is this Mr. Smith's? May you please tell me your name?
Yeah. So my name's Alexander.
All right, Alexander, may I please ask, is this house number 11873, Harare?
Yes.
May I please see Mr. Smith?
That's me.
All right, Mr. Smith, I've come from City Hospital. I've been instructed by your doctor to come and see. I've come to see you. I heard your family is moving overseas, and they are arranging you to come to a nursing home. Is it?
So they're not moving overseas. They're traveling overseas, but I hope that they're going to return.
All right, Mrs. Smith. So I had come here to talk about the arrangement. They've arranged that you come and be at the nursing home for the 2 weeks. They are not away, is it?
Yes, that's right. But I'm happy to do that. I just want my family to have a pleasant trip. I don't want them worrying about me being in the house by myself.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. So do you have any concerns which you would like me to clear?
So I think the only thing that I'm concerned about is just having my independence, because I'm used to having my independence. And so I wouldn't want there to be a lack of privacy or inflexible timetables.
Okay, I understand, Mr. Smith. You said what you want is your independence since you have been staying at your home independently. So, Mr. Smith, I'll start by explaining that it's a good idea that you want to come to our nursing home. Our main issue at the home, or our main priority at our home, is to provide the independence that you want. Is it okay with you?
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Smith. Okay, Mrs. Smith. One other thing is about privacy. We are there as a facility to provide the privacy. Yeah, is it okay with you?
The privacy, yeah, that's what I'm used to. I mean, it'd be nice to be around people sometimes, but obviously, when I wish to have my privacy, I'd like to have that.
Okay, Mrs. Smith. Can I also ask you about your daily routines, like your sleep habits, your or if you have any medications that you are taking?
So, in terms of my routine, I tend to sleep quite late, and then I'll have a late breakfast, and then I would shower whilst my daughter was in my unit, and she would provide minimal assistance. And then relatives tend to take me out quite often, and I also attend a senior citizens club as well. Did you ask me about medication as well?
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
asked you about medications as well.
So yeah, so for medication, I only take the occasional anti-inflammatory or analgesic, just for old age aches and pains. Nothing beyond that.
Okay, Mrs. Smith, thank you for answering my questions. You said you can do your daily activities with little assistance, and also you said you are just taking anti-inflammatories for maybe pain which can come in during your stay at our home. Thank you for answering me, Mr. Smith. Um, you
Okay.
we just to sum up with what we have discussed, we have discussed about your stay at our home. You said you want to live independently. Also, you said um, you want to be assisted with daily activities here and there, and also you talked about
Okay.
maybe medication.
Let me just stop you there, Marvis, just because we've run out of time. Um, there we go. So how did you feel about that?
I was very nervous. I never thought you were going to pick me. I was just like, someone is going to be picked.
Yes, yeah. So I could see at the beginning, because there was a bit of hesitation at the beginning, and so I could see that nerves had impacted you a bit. You did settle down as we went through the role play. You calmed down a little bit. This is the thing. I think, when you go into the exam, take some deep breaths, relax, because you've got to manage your energy. You've got to manage your energy effectively. So if you come in with too much energy, your brain's gonna freeze, and you're gonna blank. You're gonna have moments of blankness. So yeah, just want to calm down a little bit. And I think you'll see that you'll give a better performance if you just calm, if you're just a bit calmer. Because as I said, as we progress throughout the role play, you were hesitating less, you were asking more appropriate questions. So yeah, a few deep breaths during the preparation, I would say would be a useful thing. Yeah, I mean, so you were looking to address the tasks, and I'll come back to some of the tasks that were missed. There were quite a lot of tasks here, so you can see there's 7 separate tasks, which is quite a lot for the OET role play. So it's really important that you're able to go through them methodically, one by one and in a structured way. You did deal with most of them, but there were some that were missed. So you didn't compliment the client at the beginning on the positive and unselfish attitude. We missed that first task. You did reassure. You explained a little bit about the Holmes philosophy. You asked about the daily routine, and then you also asked about the medication regime. So you did what is called compound questioning. So you asked 2 questions together, which you shouldn't do, because the problem with that is it means that the patient has a lot to think about. So that's why I said to you, did you also ask me about the medication regime? Because I'm there trying to think about 2 things at the same time. And it's much better if you go through one by one, because it makes it less confusing for the patient. And then you summarized at the end. You were summarizing. So yeah, so we were looking at the majority of the tasks, but it was just either some of the tasks were missed or some of them were grouped together, which you want to avoid. And yeah, so just at the beginning, we just want to get in a little bit more direct, Marvis, because we lost a bit of time there at the beginning. You don't have to confirm the address, so you just confirm the name. So you can say, "I'm speaking to Alexander. I'm speaking to Mr. Smith." Yes, that's right. Okay. Well, I'm just here today in order to discuss with you the arrangements whilst your family is traveling abroad. Is that okay? Yes, brilliant. That's all you need to say, and then just go straight into it. Don't spend too long with the introduction, because otherwise you're going to lose time for the rest of the role
All
play.
right. Okay. All right. I'm really. I never thought I was going to be picked.
Yeah. No, this is it. That's why, obviously, it's going to be a nerve-wracking experience doing this. But the point is, it's just to take on board these strategies, because if you take on board these strategies, you've got your fluency is of a good level, your pronunciation is clear, so you've definitely got strong elements in terms of linguistic criteria. You were checking that the patient was comfortable with the information that you were giving. So there were some good elements of communication criteria there as well. So there's definitely some good elements there, Marvis, but we have to address some of these other points in order for you to be able to get the score that you need. Just one other thing I'd say as well. If you're asking a question, don't say "is it" at the end. So you can say, "Is that right? Is that correct?
Right.
Is that okay?" Yeah, that would be more appropriate for the role play, because you want to be professional. So yeah, sort of is it might be just a little bit too colloquial. Yeah, not quite in a professional context, but yeah, that's lots of positive things there, Marvis. Like I said, you've got a lot of energy and good fluency, but just control it a little bit, and I think you'll do a good job.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Marvis. Thank you. Okay. She did gender change. Instead of Alex, she called Mrs. Smith. Did you? Okay. I heard her say Mr. Smith. I didn't notice that, actually, but yeah. If that was the case, we do have to be careful to be consistent. And I think also just use the same name as well. So if you're saying Alexander, stick with Alexander. If you're saying Mr. Smith, stick with Mr. Smith. Okay. Yeah, Jasmine, more structure, organized, yes. Can we say, I do appreciate the decision to move to our home? Yeah, that would be a way of complimenting, wouldn't it? We could say that. Do we need to complete the task within the time limit? We should try to. We should try to do that. If we do run out of time before we've completed all of the tasks, as long as we've been focused and as long as we have been using a structured approach to the role play, then you will not be penalized for that. Is a native accent okay, or does it need to be? Yeah, any accent is fine, as long as your accent doesn't interfere with meaning. Can we take notes? Yes, absolutely. During the 3 minutes preparation time, you may make notes. Okay, so we're going to move on very soon to the doctor's role play. So if you want to join the class as a doctor, join now. Let me know in the private chat if you are a doctor, and I can bring you into the class. Do remember, when we're assessing speaking, we're always looking at linguistic and clinical communication criteria. And for linguistic criteria, did the speaker speak clearly, and was the speaker easy to understand? In this case, yes. Generally speaking, yes. Did they vary their pronunciation and intonation relevantly? I think this could have been improved. I think because there was so much energy, it was difficult to see the variation with intonation, and so this could have been improved. Did the speaker speak fluently and smoothly with few hesitations and full starts? There were quite a few hesitations at the beginning, but obviously once the speaker was comfortable, she was hesitating much less. Did the speaker use appropriate language and tone? Generally, but I did pick up on some examples, didn't I, where that could be improved. And did they use relevant and correct vocabulary and grammatical structures? Generally, yes. Clinical communication criteria. Did the speaker offer empathy and support? Not really. We missed that, didn't we? So in that role play, we could have said, it must have been a difficult decision for you to sacrifice your independence, even if only for a couple of weeks. So well done for having such an unselfish attitude. So that would show empathy. Complimenting the patient at the beginning would be a way to show empathy and support, and we missed that opportunity. Did they listen to the patient and respond effectively and appropriately? Sometimes. Again, that could have been improved. Was the delivery of information structured appropriately? Not always. And I mentioned, didn't I, compound questioning. And was the patient satisfied with the delivery of information? I think overall, yes. Overall, yes, I would say that was the case. So do remember that you do not want to miss out on this 20% off selected OET courses. This is an offer that is available right now. Just use the code OETLive20OFF. Only the first 15 people to apply will be able to take advantage of this offer. And this is valid until Sunday, midnight UK time. So we've got a range of packages which you could benefit from in terms of preparing for the OET. And I'll share the details of this in the chat box now so that you can have a look at these offers and take advantage. Let me share these details now. So we're going to be moving on to the doctor's role play. Who would like to participate here? Make sure, if you would like to participate, that your audio and camera is connected. The link was shared previously, and I can see that we have a couple of students in the class. Okay. So I can see we've got Fatima and Dr. Deb. If you would like to participate in today's role play, then do please access your audio and visual capacity, your microphone and your camera, and then I can bring you in and we can do some practice. Just in case you're not able to do that, Fatima or Dr. Deb, I'm re-sharing the link. So if you are able to access both your audio and camera, then do click on the link and I will bring one of you into the class. Okay, yeah, okay. That's fine. Fatima is a nurse. So any doctors who would like to participate now? Okay, I can see we've got Dr. Deb. So I'm going to bring you in, Dr. Deb. Hello, doctor.
Hi.
Oh, hang on. You've joined with two devices. You need to get rid of one of the devices.
Hello. Oh my.
Hang on, let me try something. Okay, say something, Dr. Deb.
Hello.
There we go, perfect. Yeah, you've got two devices, that's what it is. We're good now, though. How are you?
I'm good.
Brilliant, brilliant. Which country are you in at the moment?
I'm in Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria.
Lagos, wonderful. I need to visit. Africa. This is one of the places. I've traveled to some places, but Africa is on my list. So Lagos, Nigeria. That
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like a good place to visit.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I just had a question before about how we could approach the first task from the nurse's role play. And I just want to give an example of that. I mentioned it before, but I'll just repeat this. So what could have been said is that I appreciate it must have been a difficult decision for you to give up some of your independence over the next 2 weeks. So I just want to say, well done for making that unselfish decision. That would have been a way to address that first task. It would show empathy and it would clearly address the task as well. So anyway, moving now on to the doctor's role play. I'm going to bring this up on the screen now. Okay, can you see that on the screen, Dr. Deb?
Yes, please.
Okay, brilliant. So you've got 3 minutes to prepare, and then we will do the role play. Okay, Dr. Deb, are you ready to begin?
Yes, please.
Okay, so please begin the role play.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Dr. Deborah, and I was a doctor that attended to you the last time you were here, if you can remember. Hi, I'm
Yeah.
going to attend to you again today. Okay?
Okay.
You're Alex, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so you're welcome to this practice. Hi, I understand that you are here for a routine health check. Is that correct?
Yep. That's right. Yep.
Great. Can you tell me more about if you have any concern today before we go ahead and talk about why you're here.
No, not really. Like you say, it's just a routine health check, isn't it? So, yeah, let me know. Let me know if anything's wrong.
Okay, great. So now I'm gonna check your weight. Okay. Alex, I would like to ask you a question. Can you tell
Sure.
me what your diet has been like?
Yeah. So, to be honest, I've got to say, I do tend to snack quite a lot. I've not got the best diet. I know. I tend to eat quite a lot of cakes and biscuits because I work from
Right.
home, you see, and so it gets a bit boring. So, yeah, I snack quite a lot. It's a big part of my diet.
Right. So you've been snacking a lot, right?
Yeah.
What about your lifestyle? Anything? What kind of lifestyle do you engage in apart from the
Um,
diet?
well, I'm not massively active. I've got to be honest. I do, you know, I don't tend to do a lot when it comes to like physical activity because I've got a problem with my knee. You see, that's the issue. Yeah, a bit of arthritis in my knee, so um, I don't tend to do a lot in terms of physical stuff because of that.
Oh, sorry to hear about that. So because of your knee, you don't get to exercise a lot, right?
That's right. Yeah.
One more thing though. Have you been undergoing stress, like any psychological issues of late?
No, no, no. I'm fine.
Oh, that's great. Um, Alex, I just checked the weight,
Hmm.
and I'm afraid to let you know that I noticed that you've gained a lot of weight since the last time you were here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, I guess my diet's not the best. Yeah.
That means, Alex, we have work to do. There is a need for you to lose some weight. If you will be able to do that.
Well, to be honest, I don't think I can really control it. Like I said, it's just, your weight is your weight, isn't it? I don't think there's much that I can do about it, really.
Yeah, Alex. I know it's not easy to lose weight. I
Mm.
understand that.
Especially
But
with, the arthritis in my knee.
yeah. I know it must have been very, stressful with the arthritis, but it's very, very important that you lose some weight. It's really gonna help your your
Mm.
condition, even the arthritis. If you can lose some weight, you will have more relief from the arthritis. Can you consider that?
Yeah, I can, right, I can see that, but it's not, like you said, it's not easy, is it? It's not easy to lose weight. It's, especially with my lifestyle, I'm not really sure what I would be able to do about it.
The thing is, there are things that we can actually consider. I would like to suggest to you some lifestyle changes that can really help you if you will be able to do it. Can I go ahead to let you know those lifestyle that you
Sure.
can change? So you can actually work on your diet, okay? You can try and change your diet. I know it's not easy, but you need to try and exercise some more.
Mm.
Will you be able to do that, Alex?
Yeah, well, like I said, I can try, but it's just a bit difficult for me.
You see, one thing that would actually help you. I'm sorry to bring this up, but about your dad. You know what happened to your dad? You remember? Your dad has a history of
Well,
heart
that's
disease.
yeah, but that was my dad. The same thing's not going to happen to me. Yeah, I don't,
Yes,
I
I
don't,
believe.
I don't have heart disease or diabetes, do I?
No, I believe that won't happen to you. It happened to your dad, right? But
Yeah.
all those things, they also play a role. So that's why I want you to really consider working on your diet, working on your
Okay.
exercise.
Just gonna have to
It's
stop you
really helpful.
there, Deborah. I'm sorry, we're just run out of time there. Um, but yeah, how did you feel about that? How did you feel that went?
I need to move down my tax, but at the same time, I feel maybe I'm moving too slowly around, trying to make you lose weight. So,
Yeah, I think, I mean, it was really, your manner was very, very nice. You were very empathetic, for those that are asking for examples of empathy, you gave some great examples. When you were saying, sorry to hear about the arthritis, I'm sorry to hear about that. It's a great way of demonstrating empathy. When you were saying, I understand it's not easy to lose weight, there you were demonstrating empathy. Even just asking, can I go ahead in terms of some recommendations, that asking for the patient's permission. So this was showing like a really nice manner. So I thought it was really good what you were doing in terms of creating rapport and getting the patient on side. So from a clinical communication criteria perspective, you did some really good things there. Also, the way that you reacted as well when you asked, is there a psychological element to this? And you said, no, it's fine. Okay, that's great. Happy that you're psychologically in a good place. So yeah, I thought the fact you were just very responsive to what I was saying was definitely a positive in terms of what you were doing here in the role play. But I agree that there could have been moments where we could have maybe signaled a transition a little bit quicker. So, we're talking about diet and I'm saying, it's difficult. It's okay. Well, have you considered this, Alex? We could do A, we could do B, we could do C. Well, it's just difficult for me because of my routine. It's like, look, I understand that, but it really is important that we make changes because these are the issues that are associated with being overweight, and then move on to the cardiovascular issues, diabetes type 2. So yeah, I think sort of that structure, you could have moved on in a way which had a bit more pace. It had a bit more pace to it. And in so doing, you would have been able to cover more of the tasks, or more fully cover the tasks in the 5 minutes. So it's both ways, really. Scoring really high in the clinical communication criteria because you're showing lots of empathy and you're really reacting to what the patient is saying. But then also, on the other hand, in terms of sequencing and structuring, we missed an opportunity to link some of these ideas together and create a bit more pace as we were going through. The language you were using in terms of appropriateness of grammar and expression, appropriateness of language was really appropriate, except for right at the end. Because right at the end, what happened to your dad. That was maybe a little bit too direct.
Yeah, I didn't know how to put in that. I felt the information there was for me to talk about, use that, to persuade the patient. But I don't know how.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to bring it in.
Well, the way it's phrased on the card would be more appropriate. So, saying to the patient, I am aware, obviously, that you do have a family history relating to heart disease. And that is a direct family history because of your father. This is something that you really need to think about, because if you do have a family history of heart disease, it's more likely it's going to impact you. So putting it like that rather than too direct, I think would have been more appropriate in that context.
Yeah, I learned that. I learned that.
But yeah, because the way that you were expressing it before, like you were really empathetic and you were really tactful in the way that you were addressing the weight. And yeah, it was just that bit at the end. I thought that was a little bit too direct. But yeah, apart from that, it was really, really nice in terms of how you approached it. Good grammar, good vocabulary. You clearly have a really good range of natural English. Good fluency as well. So yeah, lots of strengths there, Dr. Deborah. Lots of strengths. But yeah, just bear in mind that final part. And another thing that was really positive actually is that you were paraphrasing. So I would tell you something and then you'd just quickly paraphrase it just to summarize it to make sure that it was clear, and then you would move on. So it was good to do that. I think maybe do that once or twice, but don't do it too often, because again, it slows the pace down if you do it too much.
Yeah.
But it was good that you were showing that you could do that. And that's what I say, do it once or twice, then okay, we can pick the pace up a little bit. So lots of good things there, as well as just a few pointers to reflect on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
It's great practicing with Swoosh. Yeah, it's an opportunity,
Yeah, well, this is it. Yeah, well done for taking it, and thanks for getting involved.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Okay, so some really good stuff there from Dr. Deborah. Let me just see a few of your comments. And as I was saying, that is a fantastic example of how we can use empathy in an effective and positive way. So we'll see. I'll see your comments as they're coming up. Just waiting for some to load. Yeah, so Terindu, she was lagging behind, otherwise she did well. A bit slow. How can we go to the next task smoothly? So that's what I was saying. I gave an example of that, didn't I, in terms of how we could say it's really important that you make these dietary changes, particularly because these are the associated risks with being overweight and then moving on to the heart disease and diabetes type 2. But yeah, lots of positive stuff. Great as well, Dayami was saying. Yeah, some good reflections there. Okay, guys, so again, these are the criteria that you need to bear in mind when it comes to assessing speaking. Always linguistic and clinical communication criteria. So are you hitting these points? If you are, then your speaking will be successful. How do you pass first time if you're going into the OET exam? You need motivation to succeed. You need time. You need the tools. And you also need support and feedback. These are really important when it comes to passing the OET exam on the first occasion. Do you have all of these currently? If not, then at Swoosh English, we can provide you with these tools, and we're currently offering 20% off our selected courses. This will be available to the first 15 people who apply, and it will be valid until midnight UK time on Sunday. So do not miss out. Do take advantage of this opportunity. Just head over to www.swooshenglish.com today if you would like to find out more information and if you would like to participate in moving forward your OET preparations. I'll share these details in the chat box as well so that you've got them there. Just use the code OET live 20 off in order to take advantage of this offer. Okay, so just I can see a couple of questions coming up. What do we have to do in the 3 minutes to prepare well for the task? Make notes, make sure you read through the tasks very carefully and prepare how you're going to begin the role play, because you will be responsible for beginning the role play. So you should have a clear idea in your mind how you're going to begin, how you're going to address the patient, how you're going to introduce yourself to the patient. And if you're clear as well about the tasks, underline the key words in the task. That will help you prepare and begin the role play in a positive way. Okay, so thank you very much for all those who have participated in the class today, for those who've watched live, left comments, and obviously for those who took part in our role play practice. Next week, it will be a focus on listening. So OET listening essential skills for Part C. Part C, which is the most tricky listening section of the exam for most candidates. So do not miss that. That will be at 9 a.m. BST next week, 17th of September. So once again, thank you very much for all those who participated, and it will be Scott with you next week. So I'm sure I will see you again at some point in the future. Until then, take care.